already. This is going to be exciting.
And the ARCA restarts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Tonight, the drivers of the Alexander PC ARCA East Series head to the state of Georgia to take on Atlanta Motor Speedway. However, tonight presents a unique challenge as we head to the new Super Speedway style Atlanta, where pack racing is the name of the game and danger can lurk around every turn. Who will survive the chaos and emerge victorious tonight? Stick with us and we will find out live right here on V-Speed. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for spending your Monday evening with us. My name's Daniel Cunningham, joined up here in the booth, co-commentator, producer Eddie Smith, and as always, those camera angles courtesy of the legendary Dougie Beard. Eddie, this race tonight has the possibility of turning into a chaotic race. There's going to be a lot of side-by-side, a lot of pack racing. How are you feeling about this one tonight?
Well, I'm excited. I'm up here, and that's the best place to be in this type of race. 2 different divisions, all on the same track at the same time, fighting for very small amounts of room. 1.5-mile super speedway, which just makes for some hectic racing. Probably some folks that are trying to get to the front that can't get there. A little bit of, as the laps wind down, a little bit of nervousness trying to get up through there. Going to cause a lot of problems, but whoever wins this one will definitely deserve it.
Indeed they will. It's going to be a hard-fought battle tonight. Let's take a quick look at tonight's track map for Atlanta Motor Speedway. You see there 1.54 miles. They added a little bit of banking in the turns, 28 degrees when they did the repave to this track. Been open since July of 1960. Also, a bit of a unique pit road here this evening. Due to the super speedway style nature of the track, you can't really just exit off the track under green right down into the pits like you would see at other racetracks. There's just nowhere for everyone to go. So the pit entry is actually on the back straightaway off of turn, or right before turn number 3 rather. So that's going to present a unique challenge as well. Don't believe you have to get down to pit road speed until the normal entry, but just another wrinkle of what we're looking at here this evening, and just another nuance of this track that you don't have at other places we go to.
Well, my favorite thing about what you said was if the pit road is like that, it's because it's going to be hard to pit under green. And I really like that you think we're going to be pitting under green tonight, because I think I think if we get some green flag pit stops, we better just close up shop. We've done the best that we could. That would be incredible, but I highly doubt it. It's going to be really tough. But this is every standard drafting track, just a little bit of different. You don't have as much room to play with. You've got the banking, which helps, but these cars are going to get tight off the corner. Handling will sort of be an issue. You want to lift maybe just a little bit going in the corner on the bottom line, at least, just to make sure you can make the corner, don't slide up into the driver around you. So while it's like a super speedway, I like to think that it's got a lot of unique characteristics, and in real life, as the surface wears out, I think the racing is just going to get more unique and more unique, and I think that's what we'll see tonight, something that we don't normally see out of Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Definitely presents a unique challenge for sure to these drivers. But as you can see there, these drivers are finishing up their qualifying runs, which means we are about to hand out the pole award for tonight, that Jam Printing and Promotion Pole Award. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They've been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. Taking that Jam Printing and Promotion Pole Award this evening, Joseph McWhorter, Barrett Morton to his outside, the drivers that have won the first 3 pro divisions this season, taking up the front row. Zachary Tyler starting in third, with Alan Smith rolling off in P4 here this evening. Starting in 5th position is going to be Eldon Stewart. Jeremiah Holt to his outside in 6th. Starting 7th, Mark Cofield, last week's AM Division winner, with MJ Johns in the 8th position. Rounding out the top 10 here this evening is going to be Daniel Selway Jr. and Samuel Yosef.
Well, from 11th on back, we got all the hard names. We got Wesley Burke, we got Tom Howe in 11th and 12th. In 13th, we have Tyler Evans with Claire Sisk, 13th and 14th. 15th is going to be Patrick Fuller and Mike Schwind in the 16th position. In 17th, Jamie Lipke and Michael Jones in 18th. In 19th, David Brooks. In 20th, Benjamin Richards.
Rolling off in 21st is going to be Tyler Gibbon, with Bill Mulfield in the 22nd position. Starting in 23rd here this evening is going to be Chance Taylor, with Michael Kriskowski in the 24th position. 25th, Mason Mier with Jesse Fox in 26th. 27th is going to be Brent Allen with Alex Grog in 28th. And in 29th position is going to be Edward Fiedler with Dakota Cole in 30th.
Holy cow, there's more? Yeah, Andrew Karn's going to start in 31st with Christopher Heiner in a beautiful paint scheme in 32nd. In 33rd, Jonathan Lawless with Chase Barkas in 34th. 35th, Nick Hummel and Michael Ali. Oh, my God. Alexic. Got it. Nailed it. Alexic. Tyler Tillman and then Colton Sisk in 38. 39th, bringing up the rear of the field, is going to be Bobby Whitley. 39 drivers at this track here tonight.
39 drivers. What a field that we have here this evening. And shout out to everybody out there watching, whether you're on the Facebook stream, the YouTube stream, taking a look out in the YouTube chat. See, the first comment of the night, Jamie Barkis, pretty sure this will be the first ever GLR V-Speed view from 30,000 feet. If not, I'm still claiming it. Samuel Yosef already told him that that's not right. He watched one from up in the air previously, but wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're in a snow-covered part of the country, whether you're out there in a warm part or somewhere up in the air, appreciate you tuning in here. It's a quick look at tonight's race analysis. 80 laps, 45-mile-an-hour pit road speed. Got 3 sets of tires in the pits plus the one on the car, 4 total, 2 green-white checker attempts. And the fuel run, it's actually 65% fuel here this evening, saying from a couple of the drivers, 30 to 35 laps is what they would expect on a green flag fuel run here this evening. So, hey, look at that. Through the magic of editing, it's already updated. That is just how quick we can get that done around here. But that's what the driver's going to be up against here this evening, as 39 of the best here in Goat Locker line up 2 by 2 to get ready to take on Atlanta Dega, Atlanta Super Speedway, whatever you want to call it. We're getting ready to go green here in the Alexander PC ARCA East Series. Green flag is out in the air, and we are racing here at Atlanta. Heading down the back straightaway, the entire field, for the most part, still 2 by 2 at the moment. You've got a trio of teammates up on that top lane Barrett Morton, Allen Smith, rather, and Jeremiah Holt trying to take control of this race. First lap led, looked like it was Barrett Morton by a nose at the line.
Yeah, just controlling those front two lines and going back a little bit here, back in sort of like the 10th position. We've already got 3 wide with Samuel Joseph on the outside, MJ John kind of alone by themselves in the middle. But up front, it is McWhorter. It's Barrett Morton controlling the lines. You got the 29 of Zachary Tyler kind of pushing the 72. And, yeah, I'll be curious to see how this all plays out, what everyone decides to do, which line will be the most, the fastest. Early on, it seems like the bottom is pretty quick, but the outside should be pretty quick as the tires start to wear out. But we won't know that until we actually see it play out. But lap 3, still under green. And you can see sort of in the back, boy, MJ Johns, I want to talk about the leaders a little bit, but my goodness, MJ Johns just kind of stuck here as he is in the middle, and nobody is willing to kind of let him in. That's not where you want to be on lap 3, right in the middle.
That is not where you want to be at this racetrack at any lap, is in the middle. You talked about a little bit pre-race, just the track is a little bit more narrow than what we have at Daytona and Talladega. It is not an easy task to get around here 3 wide. If you're going to do it, now is the time to do it when the tires still have the grip in them and the cars are still feeling pretty good. So got it cycled back down to the bottom, able to slot into line, but up at the front, Barrett Morton, Joseph McWhorter, the 2 drivers already kind of establishing themselves as the early favorites this season here in the East. Just about a dead even heat at the line that time by.
Yeah, and, you've got teammates, which is the best thing about Super Speedway racing, is finding your teammates, working together, having a plan coming into it. Now, the plans always kind of go out of, you kind of throw them out the window after about lap 20 or so when things start to kind of pick up and get chaotic. But it's just having a sort of a concepts of a plan, if you will, Daniel, of what you think you're going to do and try to execute them as you get down to the end. But you want to stay with your teammates. That's the best way of making, having kind of a success at these tracks and making sure that, hey, I know that I've got somebody working with me. So you try to find that teammate. If you don't have teammates, you find somebody that works really well. And right now it's just about, I feel like, just holding on to track position. Staying up near the front if I'm already up in the front and just trying to keep that car clean.
I think that is going to be a big factor here this evening is track position, like you mentioned. And you can see here, everybody 2 by 2. There's just really not a whole lot of room to maneuver. You can't really force it 3 wide. I mean, you can if you don't mind taking 15 or 20 other cars with you. But it's not an easy thing to do to try to force 3 wide at this track. It's going to get exceedingly harder as the run progresses. These tires start to wear out. So if you're up here in the top 5, top 10, you're really kind of thinking, what do I need to do to be able to at least maintain where I'm at? And if you're a driver that's a little bit further back outside of that top 10, you've already got to be thinking, what kind of different pit strategy do I want to pull? If we get an early caution, am I just going to do the opposite of whatever the leaders do, where maybe they come down pit road, you stay out, or vice versa? It's kind of the game that you have to play here, and then just honestly, you're just hoping and praying for the best at that point once you can get that track position.
Yeah, and it is possible to gain some track position here. It takes time. And right now we're under green flag racing, so that's great. That gives you opportunity to kind of make the lines kind of move forward. They fall back. They kind of move around. People have gaps. You can see there's like a 3-car gap back there behind the driver on the bottom, about 8 car backs. And so there are places to get in where you fit in. And you just have to wait for the line. So there's a lot of patience. You kind of get a run, and you think, oh, I'm going to go 3 wide, and you end up going all the way to the back. And that can be scary. You don't want that to happen. But, you kind of work your way through hey, there's a gap here on the outside line. Let me go up there. As you can see, I'm kind of snake around on the front stretch. Kind of makes you nervous. But you kind of say, okay, here's a gap here. Jump up there. You move with that line. Then you find a gap on the bottom. You move with that line. So it is possible to get up there to the front. But, boy, it takes a lot of patience. And really a lot of grace from other drivers. And kind of to one more thing that we want to talk about is what we saw last lap. That quad oval is something that's different than the normal trial we'll see at Daytona and Talladega, where it makes it difficult to kind of see where you are. Look at this quad oval. And look, it kind of got a little bit messed up here as right as we go on board, we broadcast Curse, the 828 of Tyler Evans, as he got a little bump there trying to go through that quad oval. What's different is that you have to sort of make a weird, we're doing trigonometry here, Daniel.
Are we doing trigonometry or geometry? It's one or the other. It's a weird shape down there.
Which one's cosine? Which one are we cosigning? What's that?
Oh, hell, I don't remember. That's been too long ago, man. It's been a long time since I graduated high school. Not as long as Jamie Barkus out there watching on YouTube, but it's been a long time since I've graduated high school, so I'll have to go back and brush up on that. But you're absolutely right, though. It's so weird trying to get through that tri-oval 2x2, and one thing we haven't talked about yet tonight is that red and white line that you see down on the bottom of the track. Similar to what you see at Daytona and Talladega with the double yellow line, you cannot go down there to advance your position. So we ride on board with Wesley Burke here, the 04 third car in line on the bottom. Now, one thing you can do is through this tri-oval, you can dip your left side tires down there just to give a little bit of extra room to that top lane. Race control going to show a lot of leniency on that, but if you've got all four tires down there trying to make a pass, and you definitely, if you do it to advance position, that is something that race control could potentially and will black flag you for if that is the case. But you were talking about it is possible to make moves, it's possible to gain ground. Jamie Lipke proving that to be the case as caution is out on the track. The 14 of Chance Taylor is around. Lap number 13 here, and that is going to put us under the first caution of the evening. I don't think Chance got a ton of damage out of that, just a little dinged up there on the driver's side door as we take a look on the B-Speed instant replay. It's happening a little bit further back in the pack, and the 12 of Claire Sisk gets into the wall right in front of Chance Taylor, just nowhere to go. And I mean, that's where the super speedway aspect of this track comes into play. You're bunched up so tight, it's dang near impossible to miss something like that when it happens right in front of you in that fashion.
Yeah, tires starting to wear out. So those on the outside line, when they go in with too much speed, we talked about lifting just a little bit on entry here. And I think this was just a matter of somebody moving up. You can see that driver move up in front of Sisk, and I think that just kind of messed up the entry. And it's something you have to think about. It's just not as the radius of the corner is just not large enough that you're able to kind of drive wide open on the outside. There has to be a little bit of lift there, and something messes it up, like a car jumping up in front of you right on entry. That's exactly what happened. So luckily, like you said, not too much damage for Chance Taylor, so should be able to kind of maintain that. It's no real takers here except for Joseph McWhorter down on pit road. You got Benjamin Richards, some folks towards the back coming down pit road. What do you think about that call?
I kind of like it. Joseph McWhorter had got shuffled out of line just a little bit there, had kind of lost a little bit of ground. So, I mean, he's got the win on the season too. So as far as playoffs go, he's in a good spot for that. No real risk here for him as far as points or anything like that go with taking the gamble coming down pit road here. This will also put him squarely in the window to make it on one stop. We mentioned that 30 to 35 laps on fuel with the caution here. You may be able to stretch it and make it on one stop, but that's definitely going to give him an advantage as far as, what does he do later on in the race when other cautions come out? What he's probably banking on is come down pit now, hope that you get another quick caution here and maybe 4 or 5 laps that you don't get caught up in, and then he can stay out when everybody else pits and, get that track position back. So, I like it. You got to do something a little bit different sometimes, so worth the gamble in my book.
Well, not anybody else deciding to make that gamble, and so Jamie Lipke is going to tap the lead here, actually leading the amateur division and the race. And I don't think yet, I could be completely wrong about this, but I've been around for these races, and at least up until this point, I don't think we've had an amateur driver. Oh, somebody is going. Jesse Fox is going through the infield, blinked out, has some sort of issue, and is gone. I'm trying to get a replay of that, but it looked like a ghost was going through the infield as we were watching that. So anyway, I guess I can't pull it up, but somebody having some sort of issue that put a hurting on them. But yeah, we haven't seen that amateur driver win the overall yet, I don't believe. And so I'm curious tonight if we can actually see that happen. I would have expected it a few times, but it hasn't happened yet.
And this is definitely one of the better opportunities because of the super speedway style nature. And that's not to take anything away from those AM division drivers. There are certainly drivers in that category that could go up and win anywhere on pure pace. Jamie Libke is one. Samuel Joseph is another one. Alan Smith, Mark Cofield. They're all drivers that could really go out and just win anywhere, and it really wouldn't come as a shock. So, but it definitely levels the playing field at these drafting style racetracks to be able to try to get it done in a place like this. But again, we've got 3 teammates lined up there on the top row, and I believe 3 teammates lined up on the bottom row as well there between Libke, Joseph, and Burke. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out as they head to the extreme scoring restart zone. We are back underway here at Atlanta. Good jump there by Libke, able to get out ahead of Barrett Morton, but the draft going to pull everybody right back together. Those 2 cars behind Libke are definitely formed up a little bit better and going to be able to give a really good push down the back straightaway.
Yeah, teammates working together there. You can see it. The bottom line is one team, and you got the top line is one team. That's why Barrett Morton didn't try to jump down behind Jamie Libke. So you're seeing those teammates making sure they stay together, controlling the lines, making sure that they are working together. I mean, in these type of races, the more people you have, the better. So right now, those 3 drivers on the bottom line doing a really good job of controlling this restart. But we saw it last time. Barrett Morton has no problem with Alan Smith behind him getting back up to the front.
Yeah, and it seems like, especially after the restarts, when you get the tires cooled off just a little bit, it seems like that bottom lane is definitely the place to be. It takes the top just a few more laps to kind of get formed up, to get that momentum built up. Saw it on the initial start of the race and seeing it here as well with Jamie Libke in as the control car on that bottom groove. And also, I just got to say, you can never go wrong with a Gray Ghost paint scheme. I know that one is based off of Dale Jr.'s Gray Ghost, the National Guard 3 doors down car that he ran. But whether you're basing it off of the original or one of the versions after that, the Gray Ghost always looks good.
Oh, under caution. There's some drivers in the back
caution. Again. That is Patrick Fuller, the AM winner at Daytona, and the 44 of Kriskowski caught up in that as well. And that is going to put us back under the caution here. Let's take a look on the V-Speed instant replay. Yeah, you were right. This was back towards the back of the pack just a little bit here. So right along looking down into turn number 1.
Oh, wow.
That is a really peculiar incident. I'm not even quite sure what would have happened there. From that angle, it looked like Kriskowski started to come down the track and got into, I believe that was the 18 of Colton Sisk. Yeah, he had a ton of wheel. Okay, he had a ton of wheel cranked into it, and it looked like it actually started to just break loose just a little bit on him there on corner exit. Shot him down the track into the 18 of Colton Sisk. So heavy damage for a few drivers there. As you see the 44 already coming down pit road. Going to definitely need a fast repair after that incident. The 13 of Patrick Fuller probably going to need to take one as well. But that's going to open the floodgates here on pit road. And that was basically exactly what Joseph McWhorter had to be hoping for right there. He's going to be able to come down and take either fuel only or possibly stay out, as the majority of the field going to hit pit lane here.
Yep, pit stop's underway. McWhorter is going to come in, so everybody going to come down. 4 tires of fuel going to be the call. Tires definitely make a difference here, so you want to make sure that don't make that mistake early. I think you want to make that, if you're going to do that, do it late. I don't know how much tires are really going to matter, especially with it being the track temp being 69 degrees, but it does wear out more just because you put more load on it, because you're having to put more wheel in it. The radius of the turns are tighter. Stuff we've already talked about affect the tires and how they wear. So I think it's important to take tires here in Atlanta. In real life, you definitely would, but you might at the end of the race be able to get away with not taking them. It doesn't kind of hamper speed like it would at the old Atlanta.
Yeah, for sure. And just a quick reset here. Mark Cofield, Dakota Cole, Jonathan Lawless stayed out, but they did pit on that previous caution as did Chance Taylor. He stayed out as well, but came down pit lane on the prior caution. Barrett Morton, only 6.9 seconds in the box, so it looks like just a 2-tire stop for him. Christopher Heiner, Alan Smith, Jeremiah Holt, Zachary Tyler, and Michael Jones all electing to take 2 tires here. So a mixed bag of strategy for sure as we get ready to go back green here in just another lap or so. But while we've got a moment, let's go ahead and shout out one of our sponsors here, and that's going to be the title sponsor of the series, Alexander PCs. Alexander PCs is a custom and gaming PC builder who has been building and modding systems since 2002. They are a veteran-owned and operated family business, and all of the team members support and production are U.S.-based. All desktop PCs come with an industry-best lifetime limited warranty and service guarantee. Work, play, conquer, Alexander PCs. We appreciate their support of everything here at Goat Locker, including this series.
Well, I think this, so it's interesting. It looks like the 6.9 seconds makes you think that is fuel only. So some folks elected not take tires at all. Then you've got a few 4-tire takers, Jamie Libke, and then you've got some 2-tire takers towards the back a little bit. David Brooks takes 2 tires. So interesting to see how this all plays out. We'll find out right here if tires matter at all, because Mark Cofield did take 4 tires, or excuse me, Dakota Cole took 4 tires about 7 laps ago. So did Jonathan Lawless. So we'll see if that really makes a huge difference. I'm assuming if folks like Barrett Morton, Jeremiah Holt, Alan Smith are not taking tires, they must know something I don't.
Yeah, I would have to agree, though, that I think that tires is the call, at least 2 tires, especially as the car tends to get a little bit tight over the course of the run here. And maybe you can use those 2 tires to kind of free the car up just a bit. But again, they are the ones out there on track. I'm just up here probably making the wrong call from the booth. So we'll see how it works out for those drivers, as Mark Cofield going to lead us into the extreme scoring restart zone here on lap number 22. Green flag is back in the air. Bit of a discombobulated restart there behind Mark Cofield. He has jumped out to a pretty huge gap here, and even the second line behind him, the row behind him rather, kind of got spread out just a little bit there. This is going to allow them to get a huge run and get back to the bumper of that 97.
Yeah, it's going to feel real nice for him through 1 and 2, but now it's just going to check up that bottom line. You can see big gaps as they sort of accordion back there.
Effect in the back.
And there it goes.
Lipke gets tagged but hangs on to it. The 19 of Gibbon is around. The 29 is around as well, Zachary Tyler.
Oh,
and
my
we are
God.
back under caution here. It's huge damage for a couple of cars back there. Turns into a bit of a parking lot over there in turns 3 and 4. And yeah, that one was definitely building from that checkup at the front. Just a huge accordion effect through the rest of the field. Let's take a look here on the V-Speed instant replay. This is up near the front of the field. It started even ahead of this with the checkup once they caught Mark Cofield. But then really where the contact started was here with Jamie Libke in the 16. Just that massive checkup on the bottom sends the 29 up into Libke, and what a save out of Libke to hang on to that. Come out relatively unscathed, but then back behind them, Tyler Gibbon goes around, and a whole lot of other cars go around as well. Eddie, do you have a list of who all might have got caught up in that one?
I've got a list of those who didn't, for sure. On board with Michael Kriskowski as he watch him get through this wreck, and yeah, I mean, just there's just nowhere to go.
The back of Sisk there.
Yeah, just nowhere to go. I mean, you try to check up all you want, but it just doesn't matter. There's just nowhere for these folks to go once the wreck started happening. We'll go up a little bit and try to find some more folks. This is right. It's happening. The little checkup's happening right now, and then you're just going to see everything kind of clog up here. Everybody's trying to check up, and you just can't see sometimes. You're trying to avoid, and, of course, Joseph McWhorter maybe got pushed into that. I'm not sure, but came flying in at the end. So that pit call strategy not working out great for him. But, yeah, I mean, once that kind of stuff starts happening, and you're right, it all started from the moment that Mark Cofield hit the gas, that little separation there. and that huge run from behind and having to check up. That whole bottom line was just an accordion all the way back. And a lot of just nowhere to go. You could say, well, why didn't they hit their brakes? But you can't see. And Daniel, you have to back me up here. While it's easy for us to look at a blimp cam and say, oh, you should have checked up, it's impossible to see in front of the car in front of you. You're staring at a bumper most of the time. So unless somebody yells, oh, we're checking up, which is very rare in those split-second moments, you just don't know it's happening until it's too late. You can try to react, but sometimes eventually, you're going to accordion back far enough that you're going to be the one that gets turned.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right on that. And certain cars are more difficult than others. The ARCA car is one of the harder ones for that because the the rear spoiler is pretty big on these cars. It's not like the Xfinity car where you can kind of see through the cockpit of the car ahead of you. That one's a little bit easier to kind of see the wrecks as they're happening. This gives you a really good view here riding on board. If you're tucked up right behind someone, you just can't see nothing. Like you said, you've got pretty limited field of vision. That's where, your teammates can be helpful if they start calling out in your team chat that there's a wreck happening or to start checking up. Communication is key. And most of these drivers don't have live spotters, and there are limits to what the iRacing spotter is going to tell you as well. So, unfortunate for the drivers that got caught up in it. But at least we do have that fast repair. A lot of drivers have elected to use that here on the evening. So you do at least get one do-over, so to speak, that you can go back out there, try to line it up, and get rolling again. So here on lap number 26. Sorry, Eddie.
Well, no, you're fine. One thing I think this is going to continue, unfortunately, because now the laps are clicking off. They're starting to see that lap counter get over 30. All right, I got to get up to the front at some point. So, I'd be curious to know if everybody kind of calms down or if it's just going to keep getting a little bit more aggressive, a little bit tighter pushes all the way to the end, or if we calm down just a tad.
Yeah, I believe you are spot on with that as we get ready to go back green here. Mark Cofield, Dakota Cole, your front row. Green flag is back out as we hit that extreme scoring restart zone. And again, a big accordion effect on that front row. I don't think Dakota Cole went until the end of the restart zone when the iRacing green came out. That is his prerogative to do so. Doesn't have to launch early in the box like some will, but it did stack the field up just a bit and now allows Jonathan Lawless to get to the lead. But here comes Barrett Morton on the outside trying to get back to P1.
Jonathan Lawless, one of your Sim Rig recipients from Goat Locker, out front in that 76 machine. Had a nice little push there from Barrett Morton. Barrett Morton said, I want to continue to lead a line because if I'm leading a line, I will have the best shot of getting a victory. Pushing somebody, you could end up 5 rows deep if you're not careful. So makes the right choice, I think, but Barrett's going to lead that lap. But look at Jonathan Lawless up here at the front racing here in Goat Locker.
Yeah, really awesome to see one of those Sim Rig recipients up there battling for not just the division win, but the overall win. Up there running in P2 right now. I want to give a quick shout out too to that driver right behind him, Michael Jones there in that number 2 Red Bull car. Talked a little bit about him on Wednesday night. We gave him a shout out in our league there for the next gen that we have here at Goat Locker. He has been snake bitten this season with just bad luck, wrong place, wrong time. Nice to see him up there running right around the top 5, having a solid run so far here this evening. As Mark Cofield has worked his way now up behind his teammate of Barrett Morton there on that top groove. Dakota Cole back to the bottom on the front of that bottom line. And Michael Jones trying to give a huge push to Jonathan Lawless, trying to get him back up there as well.
Yeah, Jonathan's starting to look a little bit nervous as you can see how quickly it can change up front as now here comes Mark Cofield down to the bottom in front of Dakota Cole, who's gotten the lead of that inside line. And now Mark Cofield's going to control that one for now. And Barrett Morton, I got to say, is a really good racer in general, but I always feel like it plate races and super speedway type racing is, my gosh, we got 3 wide back here, but he seems to be really good at picking his moments when he wants to make a move and when he doesn't want to make. Good God, there we are getting crazy. Look at Joseph McWhorter up on the outside, 3 wide, making contact with the wall. Sparks flying.
Joseph McWhorter is absolutely going for broke right now. He doesn't care if he's got a faster pair in his back pocket or not. He's got fresher tires. He's got more grip. And he is up there absolutely ripping the fence, trying to do it on his own. Not able to quite get clear right there, but he has had no drafting help up on that top lane. And he has been up there just rubbing the sidewalls off of those tires so far. You can see it right there. He's dragging, he's got sparks coming off the car. And, I mean, he's making it work, though. So I think that might answer the question of, do tires mean anything? Because he's able to get up there and maintain speed without any drafting help. But, man, if he had just another dance partner up there with him that had those fresher tires that could just give him a shove up through the field, I kind of feel like two cars could make this work and get back to the front.
Yeah, and you can see the side draft playing a huge part of how he's able to do stuff. He can get a run here, but as soon as Chase gets to that left rear quarter pound, watch, it's going to just drag him back, and it's going to kind of shoot Chase forward. And that's just going to continue. So I think McWhorter, oh, and there it is, right there.
Squeezed into the wall.
There,
The
and there's
54 is
more.
involved. Caution is going to be out. That is Tyler Evans, I believe, in the 828.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, good God. One car goes airborne there. I believe that was the 54 that went airborne.
We knew it was going to happen. We're sitting there talking about it going 3 wide, but he got sparks up against the wall trying to stay up as high as he possibly can. It was just a matter of time before that space kind of runs out, and nobody wants to be 3 wide. And that's just trying to clear yourself almost. Nothing McWhorter can do there. But, man, these guys at the end just flipping him over. I don't even know who those folks are.
I couldn't tell who that was that got into him there that actually flipped the 54 car over.
Look at Tyler Evans.
See Tyler Evans doing a little hermit crab down the straightaway there. That is certainly less than ideal.
Well, I'm trying to find, it was some brown car. Oh, there it is. Michael Schwinn. Schwinn, let's go check out and see his point of view. On the
Schwinn
nose
was running
cam.
a little bit. Yeah, he was running a little bit further back of this.
Yeah, 5 seconds back on the field and just kind of drove through it. So,
yeah, Cole Trickle would not be proud of that one.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to go and like find an Australian lady to fall in love with an MRI machine after that. Good grief.
Well, that puts us back under caution here, Eddie. Barrett Morton, Mark Cofield, your top two in the race, leading the divisions here, and just shy of halfway. I mean, is this what we expected so far? A little bit of chaos, a little bit of carnage?
Yeah, I mean, it started off really well as everybody was being patient. Now, I feel like that's how all super speedway races work. Everybody's like, I'm just going to take it easy for a while, and then that lasts for all of about 7 laps most of the time. And then here they come. Somebody's like, you know what? I'm tired of this. ADHD kicks in, and it's time to roll. And we kind of saw that in there. I think, you're going to see two sides to that. There's going to be folks that say, well, McWhorter shouldn't have been 3 wide. And that's why that happened. And then you're going to hear from other folks say, well, it's okay to go 3 wide. Don't move up a lane and make contact. So there'll be 2 schools of thought there. But, for me, McWhorter was definitely putting himself in a bad spot, but he had gotten behind. He had taken that pit strategy, then got caught up in a wreck. And so now there's some urgency that I was talking about to get back up to the front. And riding back in 30th, in 31st, 28th is not going to get you there. So he's doing what he can, but it just, you got to know your audience or who you're racing with sometimes. And it was just a matter of time, I feel like.
Yeah, he was definitely doing what he needed to do to try to get up there. You can't just ride in the back and expect it to be handed to you. So unfortunate that the wreck turned out the way it did, but sometimes you just got to go for it. But while we have a quick moment here, let's go ahead and thank another one of our league sponsors. It's going to be Nasty's Bar and Grill. And March 21st of 2012, Nasty's opened its doors in Hilliard, Ohio. From the get-go, they aim to embody the energy and passion their sons Nathan and John poured into their dreams. Nathan's commitment to hospitality ensured that every guest received exceptional food and service. They have hosted numerous fundraisers in their establishment with the goal of raising the funds to donate a sim rig to a deserving veteran or first responder. And definitely appreciate everything that they have done and continue to do to support us here at Goat Locker and support that mission as well for those sim rig giveaways. Not possible without our great sponsors that we have here, but getting ready to go back green just shy of that halfway mark as the field gets ready to head to that extreme scoring restart zone. Teammates on the front row. You got a couple of Save 22 cars right there in that second row behind. So get ready to stack them back up. Green flag is in the air. A huge jump there for Barrett Morton. We'll see if he tries to get down to that bottom lane, maybe give his teammate Mark Cofield a little bit of draft help here. But back behind Morton, the field not really formed up very well on this restart.
Yeah, a lot of checkups there at the start-finish line as everybody kind of up front kind of made it just a little bit of scooting up, then trying to scoot up at the last moment, trying to catch that green flag, and it always has problems. That's why the race control wants everybody to be kind of bumper to bumper as the green flag comes out. That kind of stuff doesn't happen. But now the field getting caught back up to the 9 and the 97, and now it's going to be about them just trying to figure out a way to control the race for the next 42 laps. If we go green to the end, we still have to make a pit stop, so be something to think about. But right now, I think what we've seen is track position way too important. Don't give it up at any cost.
Yeah, absolutely. And do see here from race control that the restart is under review. So something we'll check in on if there are any penalties for lane changes or anything of that nature as we continue on here. But up at the front, Cofield, Barrett Morton, they are controlling both lanes right now. Still doing a really nice job there. And, Eddie, you talked about it earlier. You're still waiting to see that AM driver that can be the overall race winner. And last week, Mark Cofield thought that was him. He thought that he had the speed to get up there and win not just the division, which he did, but to get up there and win the overall race as well. And I've never heard an AM winner quite as dejected and not getting the overall win as he was last week. Maybe up there trying to make a little bit of a point here this evening to say, hey, I can hang with anybody in this league regardless of what division they're in.
Well, he absolutely can. He shows it each and every week. I think if there's a couple guys that I think are in danger of promotion, if I could say so, and he's one of them. Samuel Joseph is the other. They have a tendency to get into some accidents, sometimes their fault, sometimes not their fault. But it seems to be something that happens is, Dakota Cole kind of gets out of shape, and that kind of messes up that outside line. Now they're going to go 3 wide with Heiner now stuck on the outside. No help as the 120 goes down to the inside. That's Eldon Stewart, and you can see that side draft kind of break that front little group up.
Yeah, got a battle of the beverages going on there. See C4, Liquid Death, and Red Bull all right there under a blanket together as Christopher Heiner there up in that top lane trying to hang tough and doing a nice job despite not having any drafting help. But we've seen it time and time again that 3 wide is just so difficult to maintain here. Now Alan Smith down on the bottom of that 3 wide in that 0-0. But I am really impressed with how Heiner's able to hang on up there by himself.
Yeah, I mean, the side draft in these cars is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable what you can do by yourself. And the real problem for the middle and the bottom lines is you can see them kind of fall back a little bit here is Michael Jones going to make contact with him. They go down and make contact again. Woo, scary place to be doing that right off of turn 4. But, you can kind of break apart these drivers with that side draft. You can see right there Michael Jones with Chase Marcus. It just kind of pulled him back a little bit, and they're just kind of slowing each other down as everybody drives away. Now at Talladega Daytona, you can get nose to tail and actually push, but here it's really hard to do that. So that side draft is way more pronounced, and you can see they're just hurting each other. One of them needs to give up, but you can see how much space they've lost just by running side by side like that. So yeah, you have to pick and choose your points of how hard am I going to fight here. Is Heiner in the wall again?
Yeah, Heiner definitely got into the wall there again. He's got an opportunity to slot down in front of the 72 of Joseph McWhorter, and he will do so. And I'm with you, Eddie. At a certain point, when you're up there closer to the front of the field, you definitely need to fight, try to maintain whatever track position you can, hope that you can slot into a good spot and maybe not give up too much. But in that situation, Heiner had plenty of room behind that he could have lifted and maybe given just a little bit of an extra break there to those drivers he was 3 wide with. But at the same point, we're all racers. You never want to yield a position if you don't have to. So everything settles out back to 2x2 here. Barrett Morton still leading that top lane. Mark Cofield leading that bottom lane. And what a recovery for Chance Taylor. Caught up in the first caution of the evening. Came down pit road, got some damage fixed, still has his fast repair in his back pocket, so didn't have to use that. And currently back up here fighting in the top 5. Just a roller coaster evening for him so far, but he's in the right spot right now.
What's making me nervous on that outside line is the 31 of Dakota Cole as he comes off of turn 4 about every lap. Seems to have some sort of, the car's drifting up on exit. He hasn't pitted in 31 laps, so he's on the oldest tires on the track. So you're kind of seeing that handling. It does play a little bit of a factor. He could still drive, just as well, can stay up front because of the draft. But those tires are starting to fade a little bit. Doesn't have the same steering wheel input that he needs on entry and exit as the the car starts to get a little bit tight on exit. You have to give a little bit more wheel with that lower radius. And you kind of see him float up a little bit compared to Barrett Morton. And that could be an issue as we get later into this tire run.
Well, and you just made an interesting point there, Eddie. They're 32 coming to 33 laps on this stint. Said pre-race a fuel run roughly 30 to 35 laps. Now, we did have the cautions that do help the cause with that. They could probably make it roughly 40 laps from when they pitted, maybe even a little bit farther than that. But if you're one of those drivers like Mark Cofield, Chance Taylor, Dakota Cole, they are definitely on the longest stint right now. You got to be starting to sweat a little bit. I mean, we've seen these cautions. If we keep seeing 3 wide like that, this is all going to be a moot point. But, you're banking on a caution, and if you don't get it with the way that the pit road is here, you're going to lose probably 2 laps, even if you just come down for fuel only. So it is a huge gamble that they are taking by staying out on that last caution, not coming down for at least fuel.
Yeah, I think what you said earlier was so right. Joseph McWhorter with that win in the bank is just like, I'm going to race how I want to race. I'm going to go and annoy the crap out of everybody on this track to try to get up to the front. You can see, I say that in jest, but there's nowhere to go. I mean, where's he going to go? He's got to go to the outside. He's got to try to make something work. Get somebody to go up there with him, give him a draft down the back straightaway, which he should get. He's going to get a draft here. But you can see what that side draft does. It's just pulling him back. And him and Tyler Evans just kind of falling back a little bit. So without help, it's going to be so daggum difficult. But he is not playing around. He's going to put that car where he wants to. And now it's on the outside 3 wide for about 21st.
I will give him credit for persistence. He is not going to give up that top lane. He is going to keep trying it until somebody says, all right, forget it. I'll go up here with you. We'll see if we can make it work. And the other impressive part about this is he's used his fast repair before he got caught up in the last incident. So we don't know how much damage does he still have, maybe a little bit of lingering aero damage trying to work his way back up through there. So
look how much space they've lost. Yeah, look at that. They're running 3 wide, but look how they're losing the pack running like this.
Yeah, they are doing themselves a massive disservice at this point, whereas if they could just get slotted back to at least 2x2, maybe get up there and start to try to gain a little bit of ground back on this lead pack. But yeah, that was a lot of ground lost in not a lot of time. And now you're talking about trying to work with some drivers that maybe do have a little bit of damage that maybe can't draft up the way that you would want. But back up here at the front, Mark Cofield has taken control of the overall race lead with a push from Chance Taylor. Got Jeremiah Holt in tow on that bottom lane. Barrett Morton starting to fall back just a little bit here. And I think you hit the nail on the head earlier, Eddie, that just with being on those older tires, as we are going to start green flag pit stops. Just talked about it a moment ago. There's Cofield, Chance Taylor, and there was one other car there that I didn't quite catch that is also with this
coming
group.
In fast.
And there are the 3 coming down pit lane.
It looks like Cofield, Taylor, and Mier are coming down pit road. 3 of them. Now, everybody's going to have to come down pit road. What you don't want to see, what you alluded to earlier, was a caution. And you know what? I got to say, I'm impressed because we laughed, and I kind of made a joke about the idea that we'd have green flag pit stops, and here we are. Now, what's interesting is a wreck can really mess you up here. Is Barrett Morton now coming off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway, and now we're looking for Mark Cofield, and he's just coming off pit road. He takes 4 tires and fuel, so maybe 2 tires and fuel. I'm not really sure. It was 12.5 seconds, normally 14 for 4 tires. He comes out alone, which is also another issue. Chance Taylor is about 2 seconds back. So what will we see these leaders do? Now, they had to come down pretty quick, but we still got some drivers like Wesley Burt, like Jonathan Lawless, Alex Grog, and a bunch of others who came down 20 laps ago. So they can go a lot longer before they have to come down pit road.
And right now, our top 5 drivers on track are 35 laps on this stint as Christopher Heiner pulling off the track rather to come down pit lane. So we're not that far removed from seeing more green flag pit stops, although Christopher Heiner is going to be a bit lonely on this trip down pit road. You'd like to have at least one draft partner for sure when you do have to come down and make that stop.
You see these guys down on the bottom line. They've gotten down to the bottom, so it looks like pit stops are about to happen for the Bandit bunch, at least pretty soon. As you can see, the whole field's kind of spread out now as everybody knows that pit stops are coming. And just to kind of explain how the pit road works here, it was changed a few years ago, but we talked about it earlier. But what you have to do is you have to commit on the backstretch. So you have to meet the commitment cone, but you don't actually have to slow down. As you can see, Mier going another lap down, or is that the first one? Yeah, it's he's 3 laps down, so big issues there for Mier. But you have to commit down here on the backstretch, but you don't have to hit the speed until the cone at the entrance of pit road. So you kind of have to be careful. You could drive fast down on the apron down there. You just have to be careful you don't jump out of that little bottom, that white line and get an unsafe pit entry. So interesting pit road, pretty unique, something you don't see everywhere.
Yeah, it is definitely a different beast. And one thing I'm looking at here are the lap times. Mark Cofield, for example, with minimal drafting help, that pack that pitted just finally formed back up together, ran a 32.71 his last lap around, whereas our race leader, Barrett Morton, was at a 31.74. So definitely losing time out on the track without the aid of that draft. And I'm with you. I would think that we're going to see some of these drivers hitting pit lane here in relatively short order as they're starting to single file out up at the front. You've got some teammates lined up there, and a lot of the field now starting to migrate their way down to the bottom of the track.
There they go.
As it looks like Alan Smith, Barrett Morton, and a whole host of others getting ready to come down pit lane. And like you said, this is the part of the track where you don't have to run pit speed. In real life, they have a different pit speed they have to run down here. I don't know. Their rules don't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. But on iRacing, you don't have to. As Alan Smith locks it up but keeps it off the wall. I don't know if he saved himself from a speeding penalty. Not showing any black flags currently.
There it is.
Man, he was coming in hot there.
Yeah,
now
black
it shows
flag.
up. He is indeed.
Yeah, black flag for speed for the double alt. Trying to get down. That's what we were talking about. You can really make up a lot of time there down on the apron, but you got to come to the pit road speed right at the entrance. And that did bite him there. As Wesley Burke, Joseph McWhorter go by as the leaders as they pitted 27 laps ago. So they have about 13 more laps they can go before they have to come down pit road. So right now, those that just came down pit road outside of Alan Smith are sitting there praying that we don't get a caution, because, boy, that will change everything.
It would indeed. And right now, I like where Wesley Burke and Joseph McWhorter sit. They don't have enough fuel, we believe, to make it to the end of the race. But if they can stay out and catch a caution here, they could potentially have the majority of the field a lap down. I mean, they already do have the majority of the field. There's only 8 cars currently on the lead lap. One of them is not in this lead pack. So realistically, only 7 cars in this lead pack. And you could have track position, you could have fresher tires, and plenty of fuel to make it to the end if a caution comes out in these next 7 to 8 laps before they'll need to come down and hit pit road. So I love it. I love the strategy call here. All it takes is that one caution and you look like a genius.
Yeah, Wesley Burke here, Joseph McWhorter, your top two. Then you got to go back just a little bit to Alex Grog, who is just one spot back. That's Mier there between them. So, yeah, I mean, I think this pack is doing exactly what they need to do, which is run single file. Don't allow anybody to make up time on you. Don't go double file, because all that's going to do is slow you down. So run single file, gain as much time as you can, come down pit road, splash of gas, go back out there, and you might have a decent-sized lead because, you know, you go back here to Barrett Morton. He's all by himself. He's waiting on a pack of drivers that are coming from behind, led by Tyler Evans now, as you can see, going by Jamie Libke, and they're all just about about second and a half back from Barrett Morton. And then you have Mark Cofield, who has picked up the rest of them, and they're coming like a bat out of hell. So Morton out here kind of running by himself, waiting on the pack, running 32.6 seconds compared to the leaders up here who are running 31.4. So a lot of time lost here trying to get connected. These guys can just run single file, don't get double file. That'll ruin everything. And so here they come down pit road.
If they're going to go ahead and hit pit lane here, I thought they may try to stay out just a little bit longer, but going to go ahead and bring it to the attention of their pit crews. And now we'll see where they cycle out compared to the rest of the field as things kind of get jumbled up a little bit there. And McWhorter almost contact to the back of the 04 of Wesley Burke.
Wesley Burke
speeding. I couldn't tell who that was. Oh, yeah, there was another car right behind them. I couldn't tell who that was. It looked like they almost went off into the grass, but you are indeed correct. Wesley Burke with a black flag for speeding entering pit lane there. Unfortunate break. I mean, he had the strategy played out damn near perfect here this evening. Got what he needed to out of that. But Eddie, take a look at who's leading that pro division right now.
That's Mike Schwinn. Got the lead. He's got Michael Alexic behind him. And so we have a pro and an AM leading 1-2, and they are the only drivers on the lead lap. 33 laps on their tires, 33 laps on their fuel tanks. Actually, they have longer. They have about, I don't think they've come down for tires, either one of them. And so they're out front trying to make it all the way to the end. Now, we saw everybody come down pit road around lap 39. Barrett Morton and those drivers came down. So they would have to go another 11, 12 laps here. And unfortunately, they cannot make it to the end. So, but if a caution comes out, something we've been talking about, if that caution does come out, man, that could really benefit these guys greatly because that would bring Joseph McWhorter, who currently has the lucky dog position running all by himself, would be the only driver that gets to kind of get the lucky dog. Everybody else would have to wave around. So could be an interesting shakeup if that has to happen. I'm sure they would love to see a caution at some point, but it looks like they're up here racing. Michael Mier says, I don't want to sit around and wait. I'm going to go around you.
Yeah, they are up there racing for that position as they may be, not quite yet planning a pit stop. So while we have a moment here, Eddie, we still got a couple more sponsors to shout out. What do you say we get another one here with Harpoon Designs, another one of our great league sponsors. So need a paint? Check out Harpoon Design, the undisputed #1 ranked studio on trading paints. When you're hitting the track, you shouldn't just be fast, you should look the part. Celebrating 10 years of elite digital liveries, Harpoon Design has set the industry standard for detail and creativity. Don't settle for a basic scheme. Have the best in the business wrap your car. Visit Harpoon Design on trading paints or head over to their website, harpoondesign.com today, and join the decade of excellence.
I've had a couple paint schemes made by Harpoon Designs, and I got to tell you, before he was even involved over at GLR, I've had probably 3 or 4 paint schemes made by him, and unbelievable. Every time he sends them to me to see what they look like, I'm always like, oh, snap, this is unbelievable. So if you want a good paint scheme, you want somebody that really knows what they're doing, you got to go check out Harpoon Design. Here comes your leaders down pit road, Daniel.
Leaders coming down for what will be their final stop of the race. And that's going to put everybody back on even footing. And I believe your overall race lead will actually go to the 2 of Michael Jones. This pack has been racing they've been racing the hell out of each other. even though they've all been a lap down, and a caution would put pretty much all of them in a bad spot with that. It hasn't stopped them to this point. So it's going to hand the lead back to Michael Jones for the overall and for the AM division. Once things cycle back around, Chance Taylor, Tyler Evans, your top three. And Barrett Morton leading that top lane up there with Joseph McWhorter and Mark Cofield in tow. They've been trying to make some ground up here. Samuel Joseph was a part of this group, saw that he actually had some pretty big contact with the wall just a couple laps ago, actually showed a meatball flag and had to come back down pit road. But Joseph McWhorter, I mean, he is absolutely shoving the 9 of Barrett Morton, trying to get him up to the lead.
Yeah, this is a pack of about, it looks like about 9 at the moment. So this pack very, very small. You have to go all the way back to Jamie Lipke in 10th for the next pack way back here. And you can see how far back they are. And Jamie's actually all by themselves waiting on this pack to kind of catch back up. So right now with 7 laps to go, it is a 9-car battle if we stay green. And you can see Barrett Morton now getting it wound up. They're coming up on a lap car. We'll see how that plays into this. Where does the lap car go? You hope they just kind of get off the track because there's really nowhere for you to go. I think that's Bill Mulfield.
He does indeed.
He does
Mulfield
do that.
pulls down to the apron.
Yeah, what a solid
Classy move there.
Yeah.
A classy move there to get down on the apron, let these leaders battle it out. But the top 9 split almost evenly between pro and AM division drivers. We've got 5 on the AM side, 4 on the pro side here battling for this race win. You've talked about it, Eddie. Could tonight be the night that we see an AM driver get that overall race win? Michael Jones going for it right now, leading that bottom lane. He's got Chance Taylor behind, but Taylor not quite there to give the shove that he needs. Meanwhile, up on the top side, Barrett Morton getting a huge push from the 72 of McWhorter. We've seen McWhorter has not been shy about making aggressive moves here this evening, trying to give it everything he's got, and he is absolutely shoving the 9 of Morton.
I mean, he's testing Morton. That's what you're doing. When you push like that, you're saying, hey, can you handle it? It's at the end of the race. I got to give you all I got. If we're going to win this thing, if I'm going to have an opportunity, I'm going to shove the hell out of you, and you better be able to hang on to it. 1 lap into the race, 5 laps into the race, hey, maybe don't push as hard, but when it gets down to 5 laps to go, under 10 laps to go, you better be ready for some tough pushes. You better be ready to hang on.
Absolutely correct. Is Barrett Morton now clear of both lanes, as is Joseph McWhorter. We'll see. Does McWhorter want to push? Does he want to try to wait and set something up for the last lap? Mark Cofield now, he's going to look to the bottom. He's got Jeremiah Holt in tow. Teammates on the bottom lane. They're going to be working together, but they got their teammate up on the top. Contact. Caution on the back straightaway. All the leaders, pretty much every single one of the leaders involved in that. Big damage for the 9 of Barrett Morton there as he was in the overall race lead. He's just along for the ride right now. That steering absolutely destroyed on the 9 car, and that is going to set us up for what is likely going to be an overtime green-white checker finish here. Let's go back and take a look on the V-Speed instant replay. See, Cofield goes to the bottom, got Jeremiah Holt, rather, there on the bottom
there
as well. And, yeah.
We're waiting on it to happen.
It, Eddie.
Yeah, that contact, just waiting. I'm pushing. And right at the worst place to be pushing, worst or best, I don't know. It depends on who you talk to. If you're Jeremiah Holt, it's the best place for them to be pushing. But right there on the exit of the corner, the car gets light. Perfect push down into the 97 and wrecks a ton of really good race cars.
Yeah, Jeremiah Holt was, the only one out of that lead pack to not get caught up in that. He came out fine. And actually, let me take that back. Tyler Evans, it looks like, came out of that relatively unscathed as well. Don't believe he got a ton of damage. It's right on board here with the 73 of Jeremiah Holt. He's just pretty much committed to working with his teammates here. And, right place, right time for the 73. But, man, that did take out quite a bit of our front runners here.
Let's go on board with Tyler Evans, who maybe had a better look at all this. He was the other one that got through this wreck. But unbelievable, the leaders wrecking almost every single one of them here.
Yeah, this is the view that I'm curious to see is, man, that's a pretty good evasive maneuver there. I know it don't look like much when you first look at it, but you can't, like you had said earlier in the night, Eddie, you can't really see too far ahead of yourself. You just, mean, you can see the car that starts going up in the air when they get turned, but other than that, you can't really see more than the car in front of you. And it's a good move there to be able to miss that wreck and keep himself in contention for the win here this evening. So pace around under caution here. I don't think we're going to see any of these leaders without damage take advantage to come down pit road. You pretty much got what you got at this point to try to make it to the end and mount a challenge for the win. But Eddie, while we got a second here under caution, let's go ahead and thank another one of our league sponsors. And that's going to be Lincoln Tech. Lincoln Tech's mission is to provide superior education and training to students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 30 campuses and one of our biggest supporters here at Goat Locker. We appreciate all of Lincoln Tech's support for everything they do here. And again, wouldn't be possible for us to do what we do without all of our great sponsors.
I'll tell you who that worked out really well for is everybody from 7th on back here. Jamie Lipke, Patrick Fuller, Tyler Gibbon, Alex Krog, all of them, because they were so far back they weren't going to catch this group, and their only hope was, I think, exactly the top 6 cars just wrecking themselves out. I think that was, a wreck happening in the back does help them get caught back up. But, hey, look, if you're those drivers, you just had 6 drivers just clear out in front of you that you don't have to try to get around here on this late race restart, the first of 2 green, white checkered. So got to be big smiles all the way back from Tyler Evans, Chase Barca, Zachary Tyler, Jamie Lipke, Patrick Fuller, all those guys are in great shapes now as they have a chance to get a win. And, oh, by the way, it looks like we might have an opportunity for, only 2 pro drivers in the top 10. We might see an opportunity for an amateur to take the overall win. Get yourself ready. We're on alert. It might happen tonight.
And speaking of Chase Barkas real quick there in the 5th position, do you think Jamie Barkas might wake up a stewardess if he starts screaming on the airplane? He says he's watching from up there 30,000 feet in the air. You think that he might draw a little attention on the airplane if his son wins this race and people are wondering why he's screaming and yelling there on the plane? We'll see.
Well,
we'll see if that works out for him.
He's already 6'8" or something like that, so he's drawing enough attention. Where he's at right now, but I would imagine, I know I would. I'm gonna be up there cheering if my son takes the victory, checks the checker flag.
Well, we've got 2 laps to settle it. Green, white checker overtime attempt as we get ready to head to that extreme scoring restart zone. 2 laps for these drivers to try to get the win here at Atlanta. Big jump for the 73 of Jeremiah Holt. Not necessarily what you're hoping for, but it's what he's got. The 76 of Jonathan Lawless now in the 2nd position. He is leading the AM division. The field, they're filed up pretty well trouble behind them.
Yeah,
they're going to have to do a lot of blocking here.
Yeah, they're going to come screaming. And right now that outside line's in the best place to make a run as they get through here. They just don't need a caution. They don't need a caution to come out. They don't need to be the caution. But you can see the 29 of Zachary Tyler on the outside gets a big run. They're all door banging as we got the glove station white flag. We're going all the way to the end on this one, Daniel.
We are going to the end. The 29 of Tyler looking to the outside. Does he have the draft help? Does he have the side draft help? They're wrecking behind, but we are staying green, white flag in the air. Zachary Tyler looks like he is cleared through for the lead. They're wrecking again on the back straightaway. They head down into turns 3 and 4. Tyler and Holt, the 2 pro drivers battling for the overall win. Jonathan Lawless behind. They go to the apron. They're 4 wide coming to the line. I couldn't tell who it was. I think it was Jeremiah Holt by a nose. Gets the overall win over Zachary Tyler. 1/100th of a second between the 2.
You can see as they cross the line.
Have to check. Sorry, Eddie, not to cut you off there. The only thing I'm curious of, though, the 73 of Holt was below that line, but is race control going to say that he was forced down there from the push that he got?
You see he gets a shot there, goes up, makes a little bit of contact, goes back down, and yeah, it does go down below the double white and red line. But at the moment, Jeremiah Holt is your winner by, 100th of a second. Unbelievable.
Wow, what a finish here between the top three, really the top four, because Patrick Fuller is your AM division winner, and he was 0.012 back of Jeremiah Holt. Zachary Tyler was 0.010. So, I mean, they are basically trying to man, that's a hell of a celebration going all the way down to his pit box. I think he pulled in almost in the exact spot there. That's honestly impressive.
A little bit of nana boo boo down there. Kind of shove it in the face of his competition, but yeah, unbelievable race. A great race to the finish there. So glad in these type of races to get to the white flag so they can race it out. Because once you do that, you always have some incredible finishes. You know, and I got to say that while going down below the double yellow line to make a pass is sort of looked down upon, you know, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I hate to even speculate because I don't know what the call would be here. I'm glad I'm not race control because you can't go down there to advance your position, but are you technically advancing your position when you're in the lead and you're gaining that little bit of extra time, Daniel? That is a CEO level decision, I think.
Yeah, so unofficially, we'll say Jeremiah Holt, your race winner. Well, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break and let these drivers finish up their celebrations. And we will be right back here with your full race rundown, as well as a word from our top two.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Well, welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. We just saw an absolutely wild finish here. Let's take a look at your race results, starting with the Pro Division. Jeremiah Holt, your race winner here this evening by 0.010 seconds over Zachary Tyler. Eldon Stewart comes home in the 3rd position with Chance Taylor in 4th. Wesley Burke able to recover back up to the 5th position here this evening. Joseph McWhorter comes home in 6th. I think the favorite name that Eddie has in the entire field, Mike Schwind, comes home in 7th. Daniel Selway Jr. in 8th, Barrett Morton 9th, and Christopher Heiner in 10th for the Pro Division.
Well, on the amateur side, Patrick Fuller takes home another victory, and Jonathan Lawless spinning backwards across the start-finish line, going to take 2nd place. Started 23rd. What a great race for the 76 car. In 3rd, you got Tyler Evans with Dakota Cole. You got Alex Grog in that 5th position. In 6th, Claire Sisk, In 7th, Brent Allen. 8th, Mark Cofield. 9th, Michael Jones. And 10th, Jamie Lipke. These are all unofficial, by the way, and are subject to change for sure. Take a look at 11th, Tyler Gevin. And in 12th, it's going to be Alex. Michael Alexic. Chase Barkus, Tom Howe, Alan Smith, Tyler Tillman, Mason Mier, Bill Molefield, Edward Fielder, and 20th was Samuel Joseph. And 21st going to be Benjamin Richards, David Brooks, Mim J. Johns, Michael Miskowski, Andrew Carnes, Colton Sisk, Nick Hummel, Jesse Fox, and Bobby Whitley going to round out your amateur results.
That is the full race rundown. And Eddie, I believe you are standing by with our Pro Division winner, Jeremiah Holt.
Hey.
Got Jeremiah Holt in the booth with us. You kind of took the steam out of this race a little bit because we thought we were going to get an amateur win, but no, here
That's
comes the pros come in.
Yeah, we were really hoping to get a true AM win, man. And
that gum pros
Eddie,
have to come up here
race
and
I won,
ruin it.
The last race I won was a super speedway race, and the 72 wrecked the car, taking the lead, and I won that race. Very similar situation.
Well, not so similar because you had to race your guts out the last lap to get that win. You were working with your teammates really well all race long. You guys and Bandits were up there working together. You guys seemed to kind of work as a unit, and it was really impressive. And then a whole little pit road cycle kind of worked its way out, and you found yourself up there racing around, where that big wreck happened, and you and Tyler Evans really were the only two that survived that.
Yes.
And it started that green-white checkered. So tell me your thoughts as you're going into that green-white checkered. What your thoughts of how am I going to win this thing?
Trying to decide whether to take the outside or the inside. That was the biggest decision. I haven't raced with either two of the people that were going to be behind me, so I was very uncertain of where to go. I thought I got way too big of a jump. It just still played out in my favor. I don't know. It's just the way it worked out.
Well, I mean, you had a hungry pack of dogs behind you coming to the checkered flag, and you kind of were getting shoved from behind, and then you had somebody stick their nose, make it 4 wide. At that point, I know you're doing the same thing I would do, which is close my eyes, hold the steering wheel with my knuckles are just white as ghost, and just hold my breath and just saying, please, God, let me get across the start-finish line first.
That's it. That's it, Eddie. Great race, man. We had a great green flag stop there at the end. A lot of green flag laps. It was a really exciting race.
Well, congratulations, man. Well-deserved win. You're up front all night. You were one of the ones who survived, which is half of the battle, and you made all the right calls at the right time. And there at the end, you were able to get the checker flag. So congratulations. Go celebrate a fantastic win, and the floor is yours, man. Who do you have to thank?
Thank you. I want to thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Alexander PCs, Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs, NVETS, and ATYL, and also everybody in Bandits for helping me through that last 2 laps.
Well, all right. Well, there's your Pro Division winner here tonight at Atlanta. Takes the victory, led 6 laps on the night, but led the most important one for sure. And now that is the Pro. We got to bring in the amateur winner. That's not the right one. Patrick Fuller who Daniel Cunningham is standing by with.
Hey, Patrick, this is Daniel and Eddie up V Speed booth. You got us?
I guess you'll unclear me.
Well, man, you're turned into a super speedway whisper. You got the season opener at Daytona for the AM division win. You got the one here tonight at Atlanta, if we're calling this a super speedway, which I guess we are. So, good job there getting your second AM division win of the season. But this was a roller coaster race for you. I mean, it seemed like you got caught up in a couple of incidents there, went to the back, worked your way back up to the front. How were you able to get your way all the way back up through the field to get that win tonight?
It's kind of like a couple weeks ago. I'm not really sure why I'm in here, but the cards fell my way. Had a drive through at the beginning from a couple weeks ago, so I took that in stride, stayed in the back, and like you guys said, I got caught up in some back of the pack shenanigans, and I used my repair, and I was just thinking like, don't wreck out again because you're done, dude. And so I was trying to keep it as clean as I could. Pit cycle started going on. Had the opportunity to get gas, so I got gas. And then that late race caution really brought everybody together. And then on the restart, everybody started hunting the bottom line, and I just stayed up on the top line with I believe the 27. And I just followed him through, and it worked out.
Well, really good job getting up there. Talk me through that final restart there, and especially that last lap. Just what was going through your mind going through, especially 3 and 4, with all the chaos and carnage going on around you, or was it really just hey, I'm not going to lift until I see God or a checkered flag kind of deal?
Well, coming out of 4, I was like, all right, this is it. Like, we're going to make it happen. And if I could push the 27, then I would have pushed him, just keep it off the wall. And I noticed a bunch of stuff going on to my left and behind me. I was like, just stay your lane, keep it to the floor, and we'll see where we end up.
Well, really good job here. Congrats on getting your second win of the season. Before we let you go, who you want to thank, any sponsors or shout outs?
Yeah, for sure. Jam Printing and Promotions, V-Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, GTR Simulators, you guys for everything that you do, and Goat Locker, Vet Ticks, and my wife and kids.
There you have it. Congrats on the win. We'll see you at Lime Rock next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
That will do it for our post-race interviews. Eddie, we saw a little bit of everything here this evening. I think this race lived up to the hype and the expectation that we put on it. But next week, we're going in a completely different direction, heading out to Lime Rock to do a little bit of road course racing. Have you ever raced at Lime Rock on iRacing before?
That's the only place you could race on road courses when I started. So, yeah, I raced a lot of the Pontiac Solstice, or the Slowstice, if you will, at Lime Rock. But a NASCAR car, up to 30, almost 40 drivers on Lime Rock. What crazy person put this on the schedule?
Your guess is as good as mine, and I don't think I've ever actually turned a lap at Lime Rock before. If I have, I certainly don't remember it. So it's going to be an interesting one next week. And then we've got an off week before we head to Chicagoland, New Hampshire, Dover, Gateway, and Nashville to round out our regular season. And you see those playoff races there. Richmond and Auto Club for the round of 8, Pocono and North Wilkesboro for the round of 6, and our championship 4 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And as always, every race you can catch live right here on V-Speed. But that is going to do it for our coverage here this evening from Atlanta. So on behalf of Patrick Drabick, Jamie Barkis, and everyone at Goat Locker Racing, for everybody at V-Speed, including Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, Morgan Cook, and my colleague up here, Eddie Smith, with me in the booth. And as always, those cameras from Dougie Beard. My name's Daniel Cunningham. Next week, like I said, we're headed off to Lime Rock for a little bit of left and right turns, a little bit of shifting, a little bit of, maybe we'll have somebody with a foot cam in there or something next week. No, we've had that before, but have to see what surprises we might have for the road course next week. We'll be live right here on V-Speed. Good night, everyone.